stuck and frozen. And that breaks my heart. I was once stuck and frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. You are amazing. What is happening?
This is so good, Sean. I can't see you. You're not even visually available. There's a black screen.
I am now visually available. I'm just going
There you are.
The Hotel Dell. Very happy. We have the beautiful Pacific Ocean. We are on location this week.
Very nice. Beautiful. You froze.
Yep.
But well, everybody. Welcome to The Real Raw, a place where we get to see and experience how influence is a superpower. The Real Raw offers us a chance to have a microphone, a stage, form ecosystems, make more money in less time with more magic, all with the use of Sean Callagy's formula, which he's been creating for over 23 years. And Sean Callagy, who's in California and is back on the screen, is an entrepreneur, national speaker, philanthropist, one of America's top trial attorneys, Chief Visionary Officer at Unblinded. And though he is blind, he's here to unblind us in integrity through micro distinctions on how we can all go from hello to yes in any role that we play in life. And leaders can lead leaders and make the world a more heart-centered place. Isn't that right, Sean Callagy?
It is all right, but I'm also here to learn from you, to continue to accelerate. Welcome to our R&D laboratory called The Real Raw. Thank you for your courage and vulnerability in being here. Vivian, you are a rock star amongst rock stars. Who do we have today?
We have Jeanette Heacock. Jeanette Heacock, aka the Change Accelerator. She's an Appian Life Sciences account executive, pharmacist, and digital consultant. As an industry disruptor, she challenges how pharmaceutical companies can hack bureaucratic friction to allow life-saving medicines to become available for those in need. And she does this, Sean, by transforming companies' relationships with technology. Alongside her team, they have created and patented novel, needleless and inhalation technologies which have helped improve health care and saved lives by staving off infection, transmissions in hospitals. In fact, this ingenious technology is used today in space missions. As an industry expert for over 30 years, I know. She has delivered get this, 350 plus million portfolio of products, pulling go-to markets forward to billion-dollar brands in 3 years. So welcome, Jeanette.
Jeanette's a straight up gangster. What's up, Jeanette? How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you today?
Doing awesome. Love the background. Amazing things you're up to. Yeah. And so how about a fun fact, Jeanette?
So my fun fact that I shared with the group is I've actually earned 3 black belts in my lifetime.
No way. And what disciplines?
2 in martial arts and 1 in Six Sigma.
Yes, you are a Six Sigma black belt for sure. I do recall that fun fact, and welcome back. Thank you for being here. And so in Six Sigma and what martial arts?
Tang Sudo Mudak Kwan.
Say that 5 times fast, could you, Jeanette? No.
Tang Sudo Mudak Kwan. It's Chinese Korean martial art.
Wow. Jeanette dropping the mic on all of it. Welcome. And how many brands? What was that number? That was like a crazy number.
So the number of brands are 57. It's 350 million in revenue.
350 million in revenue. Congratulations. Awesome job, Jeanette. Thank you.
Sean, are you getting some black belt envy of some sort over there?
I am, because I do have my Surf Sensei black belt from Mike Armstrong, which I appreciate very much. But I'm like a couple of black belts short, so I got some catching up to do, Jeanette. So
Sean, you can buy it, but it's not like earning it.
Well, I will tell you this. The Surf Sensei black belt was given to me after earning it because I was a blind guy that taught a blind guy to surf. So like that, I would definitely count that one as earning it. But
I count that as earned.
Yes, I have 2 more black belts to earn from there. And honestly, I mean, all kidding aside, Mike Armstrong gave me one of his black belts because he's a black belt in martial arts. Yes. And he wrote on it. And it took him 7 or 10 years to acquire. Maybe it was more. Got to fact check that. And it was amazing. He wrote Surf Sensei and Sean, and it was a very emotional moment. So super proud, super thankful. Black belts from the house in martial arts, in Six Sigma. And we've only just started, Vivian. There's more.
Yes. We have from Baja California, Fernando Lopez in the house. He's a real estate investor, coach, life design and dating coach, and a farmer. Fernando Lopez is a colorful journeyman. At 19 years old, he decided to own a food truck, and then boom, he grew it to a fleet of 3 trucks. 5 years later, he decided to go into real estate and became an investor. And a decade later, he grew his company, raking in nearly $20K a month, Sean. Today, he's living in a ranch in Baja, Mexico, learning how to farm, plant, and grow trees, raise free-range chickens, and enables families to live organic and sustainable lives, taking to heart the adage that it takes a village to raise a child, and adding that it also takes a village to raise adults and the elderly. So welcome, Fernando.
Fernando, awesome job, sir. How far am I? I'm in San Diego. How far would that be from Baja?
An hour drive.
All right. So if you want to catch some waves later in the afternoon, feel free to, maybe we can meet in the middle somewhere. So, but pleasure, and thanks for being here. And how about a fun fact, besides raising free-range chickens and being the incredible entrepreneur you've been, impacting the world, what's a fun fact?
I used cartoons, children's cartoons, to learn English when I was 17 and moved to the US, as well as songs from Boyz II Men. I would look at lyrics and sing those songs that I loved so much, and that's how I credit most of the English I learned. It was from kids shows and Boyz II Men's lyrics.
Extraordinary. Could you name a couple of the kid shows?
Oh wow, VeggieTales.
VeggieTales. Vivian, is anything better than VeggieTales? Are you familiar with VeggieTales, Vivian?
I don't know VeggieTales.
No, Vivian.
I should, right? I love vegetables.
We love VeggieTales. It's amazing.
Broccoli.
Yeah, incredible. So Vivian, please, Brando.
I want to sing something from Boyz II Men. What did you learn English from Boyz II Men?
Oh wow, Bend the Knees, all those romantic songs, you know, being from Brazil, the romance, you know, there is like grows with us, as well as soccer. So Boyz II Men was
Boyz II Men. So listen, Franda, by the way, for like second round of the Real Rock today, we're gonna ask you to bust out into Boyz II Men. You have a couple minutes to prepare yourself. So let's go. I'm only half kidding, partially. Jeanette, Fernando here.
He's jumping up and down. He's getting ready.
He's got energy.
He does. So who else we got?
We got Patricia Marseille. Ooh, baby. A woman who just loves being an executive at the Walt Disney Company for International Trade Compliance. She just launched her own leadership development coaching business called PM Marseille, where she helps leaders build systems in their organization. Plus, she conducts, get this, Sean, virtual retreats for women to help them restore and feel empowered. Welcome, Patricia Marseille.
Patricia is in the house. How are you, Patricia?
I am extremely well. How are you?
I am magical.
Yes.
But not in a Disney way. But not in a Disney way. So what's a fun fact, Patricia?
A fun fact is the first time that I ever went diving was actually in the Red Sea over in Egypt.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow. And this was scuba diving or free diving?
I went scuba diving, and then they actually like gave us the training and took me under.
That is absolutely outstanding. And what did you see in the Red Sea, Patricia?
Oh my gosh. It was just gorgeous coral. And when it comes to like all the different types of species of fish down there, like I saw things I've never seen before. The colors are so vivid that it was just really beautiful.
That is absolutely awesome. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to lay off the Disney jokes for today, although we may come back. And I do say this, that Disney is not endorsing in any way, shape, or form anything that Patricia says today, ... I'm kidding. We do the Disney disclaimer every time. Patricia, welcome. I'm super happy that you are a scuba diver, and we have to have an Unblinded elite scuba diving trip at some point soon. And I'm thinking like January, Grand Cayman, like let's see what happens with the pandemic, but we'll see. So would you be down for going to like Grand Cayman with the Unblinded crew in January? Would you be up
100%. I'm getting my scuba gear right now.
Let's go. We'll have Nick from Deep Blue Divers. You can Google it. Nick, we miss you. Love you, brother. And we'll be down there soon. Nick is our friend, home away from home in Grand Cayman, best friend, buddy, and brother that does all our scuba diving needs. So Vivian, back to you. Yes.
We have Guy Maisnick in the house. He is a badass connector and lawyer. He's the go-to guy in drafting the right legal document. Guy Maisnick has over 3 decades shining in the area of commercial real estate, especially in the hotel and financial industry. In fact, he's the partner and vice chair of the JMBM Global Hospitality Group, is senior member of the JMBM Chinese Investment Group, partner in the JMBM Real Estate Department, and he serves as an advisor here in the U.S. and abroad, including places from Mexico to Canada to Europe, Australia, Asia, and the Middle East, which is why he has been given kudos in all sorts of publications, including the Best Lawyer in America, California Real Estate Journal's Best Real Estate Lawyers, Los Angeles' Top Southern California Lawyers, and Top Real Estate Lawyer in Real Estate Southern California magazine. So welcome, Guy.
Hi, drop the mic, brother. How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Fun to be here.
Amazing.
Wakes up the day.
Yeah, awesome. And Guy, where are you physically in the world today?
Right now, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in, you see the buildings behind, that's Century City.
Very, very cool. Well, Guy, welcome. How about a quick fun fact?
I have no fun. Let me think. The only thing I can think, I don't know if it's a fun fact, but it was a life-changing fact. I was 10 years old in East LA. I grew up in East LA, and we were playing soccer out in a football field, and a gang came over the fence and were going to jump us. And my buddies and I were there, and I talked my way out of that, and they let us go. And I was only 10, but I didn't think I was going to make it to 11 in that particular moment. So that was a life-changing.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
I think that was a career-defining moment.
Yes, it was.
I think so. That is clearly influence as a superpower guy present in the house. But what I'm also interested in is why no fun? Like, and it seemed like you own the idea of no fun.
Oh, no. I was just, because right now, I'm a hotel lawyer, right? And hotels are just decimated, as you can imagine. It's a graveyard out there. And so it's every day I'm in there bailing water out of a canoe, trying to help these folks out. So it's a challenging time.
And I feel your empathy and caring. It's present, and thank you for that. And we're not far apart. I'm at the Hotel Del right now, and it is an interesting environment for sure. So
yeah, I did that hotel as well, by the way, one time.
Is that right?
Yeah,
awesome.
Years ago.
Do you think it's actually haunted, Guy?
I'm sorry?
Do you think the Hotel Del is actually haunted?
Mm.
Oh yes, it's very haunted. I've had many meetings with spirits there, and absolutely. In fact, I can see them behind you right now. They're making fun. They're,
yes.
Guy became a medium.
Be careful what you say there.
Yes, I'm hearing Guy. My level 5 listening says I'm not quite sure that Guy thinks so. But hopefully it's not like being in the Haunted Mansion ride, Patricia, in Disney, and having like a spirit sitting next to me that I'm unaware of. So Guy is present. Thank you, sir. Vivian, who's next?
We have Ron K. Williams in the house. Investor, worldwide consultant, creative advisor, mental health advocate, visionary, and more. He's led a multi-billion-dollar trail in his career across the globe, all while he was president and CEO of his own company for Evergreen Worldwide. Today, he's giving back, is a lecturer, founder, and visionary of the You of You, helping empower people across the globe so they can design the life they wish to live rather than the one of default. And he pulls all his creative talents to offer solutions for physical, financial, mental, and emotional health. Williams is also an author, songwriter, music producer, and the award-winning filmmaker of Happy Valley, where he educates and empowers the world with his stand against opioid abuse. And get this, Sean, his talents have been recognized in campaigns on ABC, NBC, CBS, Disney, and Fox. So welcome, Ron K. Williams.
Ron, super impressive, brother. Thank you for being here. How are you today?
It's my pleasure, Sean. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for having me on. It really is nice. Everybody here is pretty energetic. I'm picking up quite quickly here.
Yeah. And how about a quick fun fact, Ron? Do you have any?
Well, my theory is if you're writing hit songs, don't listen to the radio. I've been mentored by my special needs daughter. Her name is Marin. Never given me a bad day in her life. And she's really taught me kind of both feet on the ground in the most nonverbal, beautiful way possible. So that's who my mentor is. I've never been mentored by the mentors. In fact, I've never listened to them. I think we all are trying to say the same things in our own signature way. So very sacred relationship I have with my beautiful daughter, Marin.
Oh, and the energy of that is felt. And thank you for sharing that, Ron. Appreciate you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
Vivian, we have a role player.
Yes, we do. We have the one and only energetic, green energizing, Brian Rappel in the house. He's an entrepreneur, investor, equity advisor, and a financial business owner in both wealth and health. Brian Rappel is the president of his family company, G.A. Rappel Wealth Group, and handles all things from tax insurance to wealth accumulation strategies. But one thing he's learned over 22 years as a coach, trainer, and from talking to financial advisors on national platforms, teaching financial strategies, is how to keep more of your wealth in your pocket and avoid losing it. And one key piece is having your health to manage it all. So that's why he's opening his first Osteo Strong in Orlando, and he's opening 2 more. But to balance things out, of course, you know, Sean, he's also purchased 3 Jeremiah Thailand Ices and Gelati stores. So welcome, Brian Rappel.
B Rips, what's up, brother? How are you?
Vivian, I need to record that, so that's my alarm clock in the morning. Fernando, wouldn't that be great to wake up to that?
Yes, totally agree.
You would
wonderful.
never hit snooze.
No. Keep playing.
So Brian, yes, Vivian is utterly amazing. Brian, thank you so much for being here, my friend. And how have you been since you?
I am wonderful. And to give you an update, 24 days, we're having our grand opening for some Italian ice and gelatos. So,
and I want to be there. I don't know if I can make it there, but I will be down soon for Italian ice and gelatos. I'm present for that. And how about a fun fact, Brian?
Fun fact. You know what? I tried surfing in LBI and I couldn't stand up. I saw a blind guy zip by me. So that's been my fun story the last 2 weeks that I've been telling everybody.
Well, I'll have to pick up on that fun fact. I happen to be that blind guy. And my fun fact is I taught a blind guy to surf in the last month. I taught a blind guy to win at amusement park games in the last month. I happen to be the same blind guy. And I jumped out of an airplane thanks to Tony Robbins when I woke up that morning and even got on the first airplane and had no idea that I'd be jumping out of an airplane less than an hour later. So that is my fun facts for today.
Wow.
So thank you for that. By the way, my name is Sean Callaghy. Like, what in the heck are we doing here? I thought 23 years ago that influence was not a superpower. It didn't matter. I was a Columbia University undergrad where I hoped to go on to play professional baseball. 4-year starter, captain my senior year. Went on to law school, graduated with honors, did not play professional baseball because I was going blind with a hereditary eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. I thank Ron for his courage and vulnerability. Mine is my mentor, my idol, my hero growing up was my grandfather, Pop. And Pop was blind with the same eye condition. And I didn't know I had the same eye condition until I was 17. So I had the unique privilege of caretaking, loving, and being inspired by, being mentored by, being taught by my grandfather in this amazing symbiotic relationship on Long Beach Island, where Vivian was and Brian was and Patricia was just recently. And we're in my grandparents' house for that experience. And what I would later learn, right, is that we all possess the ability to have the superpower of influence. So when I graduated from law school, first person in my family to go to college, had no contacts, no relationships, no money whatsoever, and found out that influence and marketing and selling and leadership mattered in business. And I thought they were only kind of reserved, at least leadership, for the athletic field. I had no idea what I was doing. I quit my job at a law firm, built a 40-person law firm in 2 years out of law school. Before or since, I have not heard somebody doing that. Went on to build a coaching training company, successfully exited from that, went on to start a second law firm, Callaghy Law, which I still own with 125 people, offices in 5 states. But most importantly, I want to teach people how to free their time, money, and energy from maximum levels of impact. So I created Unblinded 2 years ago after having my thing I'm most proud of in the world. My children played 1,000 sporting events in their youth, and I missed 9 games for work. And I had the privilege of walking to school every single day, my son and 2 daughters, for their entire childhood. So that's what this is about. And what we're doing is gamifying influence and connecting with incredible people like yourselves who are clearly masters of influence just because of what you've accomplished. And it's like, what happens if we can unlock next levels of that amongst the incredible people like yourselves and connect in a heart-centered way to make the world an even greater place? That's a little bit of the beginning of what this is about. So Vivian, thank you. It is an honor and a privilege to have you help launch us every single day. Love you, and I'm thankful for you.
I love you, and I'm thankful for you, especially all the micro distinctions that you bring forth to help us become the best version of ourselves. So thank you.
And you for me, because you do that for me every day as well. Thank you. Brian, are you ready, sir?
I am ready.
All right. So Jeanette and Fernando are going to be here to go from hello to yes. And Brian will be anybody you want him to be. He'll be a specific person. We've had people be Tony Robbins, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Steve Jobs, right, back from the grave. I mean, all kinds of craziness we've had here. Or Brian could be an ideal client. Perhaps it's somebody about a book deal or a TV show. Anybody that you'd want to go from hello to yes with over the course of 6 minutes. And it's going to be cut in half, that 6 minutes, but it doesn't have to be the ultimate yes. In that 6 minutes, you could be perhaps causing in integrity this person to want to meet with you for half an hour to have a longer conversation about your ultimate yes. So it could be hello to yes on anything, including a longer meeting or actual sale or something you're presenting and sharing. Whatever you want that to be is up to you. We just suggest that it's a meaningful yes to you in the world. So let's go this way. I'm gonna have 2 fingers under the table. Jeanette, it's either a 1 or a 2. What do you think?
You're muted, Jeanette.
Myself off 2.
It is a 2. You have won the toss. Would you like to kick off or receive on the raw, meaning go first, or throw Fernando right under the bus and have him go first?
I have no idea what's going on here, so I'd like to. I'm going to punt, Fernando. I hope you have a better understanding. So
yeah. So Jeanette, so what we're saying is yes is the place from which all things begin.
I see. Okay.
Right? Would you agree with that statement that like you don't have money, time, relationships, family, business, homes, legal cases, accounting, financial, nothing happens without people saying yes to each other to come together to do things. Like
I would agree.
When the first person was going to like begin hunting, in the world or pulling berries off of trees and we couldn't speak, we still needed to get an affirmative yes to like do things together. So what this is about is what does that science look like at the highest level? Because there's all kinds of yeses that we should be having in the world that we don't get to, right? We don't get to. People should be saying yes to things like what Guy faced. That was a really critical yes that could have changed the world in a lot of ways because he's helped extraordinary amounts of people. And maybe that day he would have lost his life if he didn't know how to go from hello to yes. So what does yes look like and how do we unpack that for people so we get to the right yeses in integrity?
Okay.
Quick footnote. I had the unique privilege of also encountering Scott Rothstein, the largest Ponzi schemer in the history of South Florida. And he had raised $1 billion. He would have been the attorney general of the state of Florida if John McCain won. And I was sitting in his office with the former head of white collar crimes for the FBI who was saying, yeah, this sounds like a great investment deal. And we left. I'm like, are you crazy? This is wrong. Like, this is a problem. And I was the first person to report him, even though hundreds of lawyers had encouraged their clients to invest. So how did I know? Because there's a science of listening. There's a science of seeing things that other people don't see. And that's what we're unpacking here. And so, And so what you'll be doing, Fernando first, will be going from hello to yes with Brian about whatever it is that you would like to go from hello to yes with, and we'll be assessing and unpacking that. Makes sense?
All right.
Yep. So Fernando, sir, who would you like Brian to be?
I'd like Brian to be Bill Gross from Ideal Lab.
Drop the mic. I had the unique privilege of serving on the Ideal Lab New York board with Bill Gross, incredible genius. He was on my podcast, Impacting the World. By the way, Bill Gross is the only person in the world to have 7 startup companies go from 0 to $1 billion exits. He's working on his 8th and 9th in Energy Vault and Helios and carbon capture, maybe 8, 9, and 10. We'll see what happens with those. And Bill Gross, the next closest person to Bill is Elon Musk with $3 billion exits. Incredible selection. Brian, are you ready to jump in as Bill Gross?
I'd love to be Bill Gross.
Yeah. And Fernando, I did not know you were going to select Bill Gross. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, I want to make sure that wasn't like seeming like we set that up. Okay, so we did not. So Fernando, please, you have 3 minutes, and then we'll break in. And this first round, judges, what we're going to be looking for is how effectively Fernando opens the listening of Bill Gross, right? How effectively he does and put something at stake. Fernando, 3 minutes, sir. Take us in.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill, for accepting this 3-minute conversation. How are you?
I'm doing great, solving big problems, taking on challenges.
And thank you for doing that. Just watched your TED Talk in Vancouver regarding startups and what really makes them either grow or fail. And your point on how timing is the most important factor, and not funding and not teams, caused me to want to have this meeting with you. Is that still true for you? That TED Talk was 5 years ago, or has something changed in the way you view things?
Well, I think that's my core principle, but you have to continue to pivot with different times as economies change and political environments change. But as far as the principle, yeah, the TED Talk's still the same.
Got it. Thank you. And watching your presentation at Business Mastery regarding the 390,000 square miles of reforestation to save the planet triggered me to want to take that challenge and help companies that are already planting trees and learning how to do that myself and teaching others to do that in their homes. Have you ever thought about if the timing for doing that is now, meaning to tackle the problem, the 390,000 square miles of reforestation, say in 12 months? Are we there yet? What are your thoughts?
I believe we are there, and I think the obstacle of solving the carbon footprint in our world right now is one of the biggest issues we need to tackle. And so I definitely believe that the time is now, and it's going to be awareness, capital raising, and making it happen.
Thank you. And I read an article recently that said that there are over 2,000 billionaires in the world, and that number is increasing weekly. And if we say 8 billion trees in that area to reforest, one for each person in the planet, and if the cost is about $1 per tree, and I'm getting that number from a company down in the Amazon that they say it costs about $1 per tree they plant, we would need about $8 billion to reforest 390,000 square miles. It's $8 billion. There are over 2,000 billionaires in the world that in personal wealth, not counting corporate. So money doesn't seem to be the problem. Would you agree, or why do you think it hasn't happened yet?
I don't think it's I don't think we've really put a lot of attention to solving it yet. And that's what we're attention right now.
Hey, Bill, you have a quick phone call. We can pick it up there in a moment, and Bill will be right back. Fernando, excellent job. Out of roll. Fernando, how'd that feel for you?
Amazing. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Brian, how would you assess the level of connection?
It was starting to come together, and yes, it was starting to come together, and I was trying to feel where we were going with it.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, we'll be back in round 2 in a little bit with Fernando, but Jeanette, are you ready to go? And if so, who would you like Brian to be?
Did you have to mute?
I did put mute on. Sorry, thank you for reminding me that. I was trying to keep background noise from going on here. No worries. Let's see. Let's have you be the CEO of a top pharmaceutical company who's working on a COVID vaccine and taking political pressure right now to get it out fast.
Oh, I like this.
Okay.
Jeanette, this is fun. Awesome. Are you ready, Jeanette?
Yeah, let's get started.
All right, take us in.
So, hi, Al. Jeanette Heacock, thanks so much for taking this opportunity to talk with me. You know, Al, I'm a former employee of your company and a director of your vaccine business. So I get the power and importance of vaccines and saving lives. This epidemic is beyond our appreciation in recent years, even more than the flu that you and I have, worked to support. And I know you're getting a lot of pressure from different parties to get this product out soon. I heard it in your letter in the Wall Street Journal this week. It was palpable, Al, how much this concerns you. Am I reading that well?
You're correct, right? And it's putting a lot of stress on our team to do the right thing and to serve humanity, but also the pressure of the political parties and the environment we're in.
Exactly. So political pressure, as well as, you have a large investment. You've invested $2 billion in this, so it's got to work. You've put your company at risk. You've got everyone in the organization singly focused on it. So I applaud you for having a single-mindedness. And also, Al, I really value that you work from purpose. It's clear to me that not just you, but you've aligned the entire organization to see the value in first focusing on the science. Very important.
We're all in as a firm and as a team here.
Absolutely, it's clear. I felt it when I was there. I feel it every day in the way I interact with your colleagues. Really important. My question to you, Al, is how do you enable the organization to do the right thing and to take the speed and the time necessary to get complete results without feeling the pressure from different parties? How do we support you in doing that, Al? It's important. Lives matter.
Yeah, I think as much money as we've invested in our trial testing and just making sure we are getting the right product out, it's critical. We can't get it wrong, and it can affect a lot of lives, not only the ones in the public, but as well as here at our company, the people that depend upon paychecks and our future.
Exactly. So, Al, do you think that it would be better, both for patients, for the public trust of vaccination, to give it the extra 2 months that you need to get a full set of data?
Yeah, potentially. If we find that we can do it sooner than 2 months, and we're getting the correct data to get the vaccine out, and we're seeing the test results positive, we would like to deliver it sooner, but we're going to take precaution to get it out at the right time.
What if we get it wrong? What happens if we get it wrong?
We're going to pick it up right with what happens if we get it wrong, and that cliffhanging moment.
Hey, Jeanette, great time for a call.
And you bounce back from that call. Cliffhanger. Awesome job. Jeanette, how'd that feel?
Thank you. Oh, we're coming back, or you want me to wrap?
Oh, no, we're going to come back in just a couple minutes. So
okay, thanks.
How did that feel for you, Jeanette?
I think I was relating to what I think matters to him, but he's still waffling on the commitment.
Yeah, we've only been 3 minutes. She did a great job. Brian, how'd you feel?
Yeah, she's hit my needs, the concerns I have as a business owner.
Awesome. All right, let's find out what the judges have to say. 30 seconds of feedback for each of these fine folks, Jeanette and Fernando. Patricia, what 30 seconds of what worked, what could be optimized with a score of 1 on a scale 1 to 10, as you know, could you have, please, for Fernando?
So for Fernando, I had you at a 3.5. And what I was looking at was in building the rapport with Bill, was that there were a lot of things that he said that you weren't connecting with. And I think it's because you were in your head. So it was really just trying to connect with some of the things that he was identifying. Like, you started off asking him about where he was at, and he told you, he actually stated that he's dealing with current challenges, right? Like, in really trying to maneuver those challenges. And that was like a doorway to then ask him, what are these present challenges that you're dealing with? Because even when he dove into raising capital and raising awareness, those were like 2 avenues that you could have dug into to then identify, okay, what are the challenges in those spaces to see where you could fit in. The other was in matching and mirroring. His tone was definitely higher than yours. And in you coming in, because you were in your head, the tone was low. And so he stayed up for you, but you just never rose up to where he was.
All right, awesome. And what did you have for Jeanette? Thank you, Patricia.
Yes. So for Jeanette, I have you at a solid 9. You pretty much walked in with just going in very much understanding, going in on matching and mirroring. Your tonality was definitely there in really being able to draw him to what it is that you were trying to highlight. You tagged in on where he was, like where his business and heart come together in regards to his service in highlighting Lives Matter. You highlighted The other was in the how, the fact that you kept highlighting moving towards the future, like how can we come together in this present state? So that's why.
Awesome. Great job, Patricia. Thank you so much. Guy, what 30 seconds do you have for Fernando?
Yeah, first off, I can see how difficult this is. And so we're sitting there as judging, looking for the perfect presentation, and you just put this together to go in there and do this. It's really hard. So you got to take that into account in the grading. I gave you a 6. I thought that overall, I thought the process was a little slow. Like, it was very difficult if I were the role player to know really where you're going with this. And it was hard for me to get on your track as you were communicating with me. You started to, when you got cut off, is when I thought it started to get good. Then you were now talking about, okay, you were starting to focus the conversation. And I thought, if you got to that sooner, that might, Bill's a really busy guy. He's used to cutting to the chase. He doesn't like to be kept in the dark. I wouldn't like to be either. So I thought if you caught to that a little bit better, that was good. I also thought that the questions you were asking in the beginning were okay. I thought that if you got more to the situation questions a little faster, that would have been more effective. That's just my view.
And how about for Jeanette? Thank you so much.
So Jeanette, I gave again a solid 8. I thought that what I liked about it was that she researched, did the research up front. She was focused. She keyed in on his organization. I also liked the fact that she really keyed in on what was really meaningful to the CEO and how he gets the whole team together. I mean, those are things that CEOs like to hear. They're team leaders and they like to feel that they're accomplishing that. And she sort of mirrored that for him. To me, that's an opening that says he's going to now listen to her because he's feeling that. I thought that she got to the question, the pain question, a little too early, and I thought that really would have. I realized we only have 3 minutes, but I thought that it could have been developed a little further on before you got to the pain question. That was my issue, but I thought overall it was pretty organized, well thought through in such a short time. I'm glad I am the judge. I'm glad I'm not the contestant.
Well, thank you for that. And Guy, I thank Jeanette and Fernando for their vulnerability. This is the 232nd. It could be 230, 234, we're close, but it's at least 230 in terms of rare rollouts we've done since COVID has begun. And it's been remarkable, the people who've been here and their courage and vulnerability. But not only as a participant, but for you fine folks, Patricia, Guy, Ron, as judges, to share your heart and your feedback, because that has its own degree of discomfort as well. So thank you, Guy. Great job. Yeah. Ron, what do you have, sir?
Thank you. So Fernando, I believe in the phrase that your way of being is greater than anything you know or say. And I thought your being was amazing. You were trustworthy. You seemed to be, relatable, but I'll echo what Patricia said. You were very much in your head, thinking too much. It sounded iffy instead of is. And it felt journalistic, and it's hard to convert yourself from a journalist into an entrepreneur. So I felt you missed the mark there. I give you a 4, but your being was absolutely amazing. If you can connect that way of being to the actual think less, be more, and it's hard to say the wrong things when you're being amazing. I just felt like you need to get out of your head. But again, I trusted you, and I thought that was beautiful. With regards to Jeanette, I thought you did a great job of mirroring as well, and you were really relatable. You affiliated yourself to him, where all of a sudden you felt like you and he were on the same page with the same quest, with the same mission. And I had you in a solid 9 or 10 until you asked the question, what if it goes wrong, which seemed a little confrontatious early, because when you're mirroring somebody's energy, there's always an opportunity for you to bump it up to the 9 or the 10 with him now that you're on the solid 8 together, sort of thing. So I would have preferred to hear you say something like, I want to help you get it right. How can we do that and face the challenges of adversity that are going to come with doing such a thing? So I thought you did an amazing job. I bought into it. I just thought there was an opportunity to up it at one point, and I thought you took it down. That's all.
I think so.
Ron, great job. Thank you very much. We're ready for round 2. Jeanette, we left off with the cliffhanging question, which, by the way, resonated tremendously with me. I did. I appreciate Ron's perspective. I loved the question of what happens if we get it wrong with the tonality you brought, but I acknowledge and appreciate that could have dropped in a different moment, a different way. but I really felt it. I was like, at that moment, I was like, yeah, because we're bringing Brian to his pain, present to it. Lots of different ways to unpack the science of influence. Excellent job. Let's pick it up from there. Sound good, Jeanette?
Sure. Okay.
All right, 3 minutes, please.
All right. So Al, you know, I was really present to this week, yesterday morning, that the president has forced the FDA to not go ahead with the added study time. How's that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's a little frustrating because it can delay getting a solution out there.
I read it as it's actually clearing the way. I mean, I think his intention is to accelerate, right? And maybe with less data. Al, you've always said the science will win, and that you want to make this decision on the science. So how do we help you give the FDA the protection, the air cover from this political mire and the risk of an election? How do we enable you to get that space for them to do the right thing? It's public trust that matters, right? With a third of the population will never take a vaccine because they're afraid of its risk, right?
Yeah,
and its safety.
Being a former employee, you just nailed it. And you know what we stand for as a company and what we represent, having worked for us. The public trust is going to be critical to getting the message out there.
Exactly. And how do we help you do that, Al? What can we do to make a difference for you?
Well, you know, we got our PR team. What are your thoughts on how we should message this and get this out there?
I have some ideas. I actually have some ideas, and I think we have some technology that can help you. Can we have 20 minutes with your team to discuss that?
Yeah, we'd love to bring you in and have that conversation, see where it goes.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. How's Thursday?
Thursday works great, Jeanette.
Perfect.
We're having you back in our building.
And would you send the note to your team? I can give you the names if you send along and invite them to join us. Would you do that for us?
We'll get everybody together. This is so critical for our firm.
Thank you, Al. Let's make it happen.
All right, Jeanette, appreciate it. Good seeing you again.
Have a great day.
Okay. Awesome job. Jen, how'd that feel for you?
Good. I appreciate the feedback. And I think there's always a moment where you're trying to get the alignment, and there's the risk of misspeaking it or misstating or misframing it so that it sort of lands, the wrong direction. So I appreciate the feedback.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And Fernando, are you ready to go in round 2, picking it up with Bill Gross?
Yes.
All right, take us in.
Bill, I appreciate what you're doing so much for the planet, and I don't even have the adequate words to show that. I'm looking forward to one day raising my children. I don't have children, and when I saw your presentation about reducing the carbon footprint in the planet, I thought about not only my unborn children, but my friends' children, and the possibility that maybe 10 years, 15 years from now, they won't have clean air to breathe. I don't know how to help you or how to help the cause. I know I can plant some trees here where I am. What could someone like me, or how could I help you, or get this issue behind us? I don't even know how to ask. I'm just very thankful to be connecting with you, and any words of wisdom you can share with me, I'd appreciate.
Yeah, Fernando, thank you for asking. It's we've got a lot of work to do. I think everybody's aware of the science behind it and what's going to happen to the earth if we keep putting carbon out there. Raising awareness, like you mentioned earlier, it may not be so much of a capital issue, but there are capital restraints that are needed in form of raising money to solve these type of big issues. We need government support. And again, it's going to be marketing and educating the public. So we all do our part.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. I will keep doing what I'm doing here with what I know. I hope to someday soon have the opportunity to contact you or your team and with some ideas of what I can help in any way, especially with this little fruit right here. It's called sapote, which I'm thinking if we're going to plant trees, how about we plant fruit trees? That way we can feed the hungry while cleaning the air.
All right, Fernando, thank you, sir. Fernando, how did that feel for you?
It felt great. I feel like I don't even know how to ask for his. Like, I feel like I'm not adequate to.
Well, there you go.
No.
Ready? There you go. You are more than adequate, right? You're awesome and amazing. And what is it that you think you can contribute to solving these enormous problems in your heart? Like, what do you bring? Ron was saying about your being and your amazingness, right? So what is your being? What do you add value in this situation that you want to create with Bill Gross?
Awareness. I can help with awareness.
Okay. And how do you want to help with awareness? What do you, to help with awareness, what do you need from Bill Gross? Like, what's the yes that you want from Bill Gross? So what prevents you from creating awareness? Like, what is it that you want to do with Bill to create something?
With Bill would be to get the data that he may have on the trees, what type of trees, how much space between the trees, if that matters at all.
Yeah,
and
so how about this?
Yes.
So what if it sounds like this? So first of all, do you feel like, just step into your certainty? What's the thing that you're most certain about and proud about in the world? Real quick, we'll do this for 2 minutes. What's the thing that you're most proud of?
Sean, we lost you, bud.
Yes, we did lose him. But one while we wait for him, one key thing I wanted to highlight to you, Fernando, where you landed was beautiful, because you finally stepped in here and you started to speak to your impact with Bill, where you started to speak about the fruit trees and really being able to merge those two concepts together of saving the world and saving the people in the world, right? Where it's like, it's not just about saving the air, but how about we feed those who are starving as well? That would have been a beautiful place to start, to say that's what I see, and that's the connection. So even if you literally have to do like physically this, which is placing your hand on your heart, I'm telling you, it is an avenue. It helps me every single time that I find myself in my head to really just do this, and then the answers come out. So if you find yourself stumbling and then you see that you're caught in here, just tap yourself a little bit. Just do this little motion, because you have it all in you. You really do. And you can absolutely talk to Bill and be able to get him to come to your end and your side and merge together. Because I am telling you, my heart lit up when you actually started to speak about the fruit trees. I'm sure everyone else connected to that, because it was like, oh, there it is. That's where his connection begins. Not where it ends, not where it's ultimately, but just where it begins. So
And what you would have seen is everybody is kind of perked up the moment you held up the fruit. Yep. All the screens, everyone's head went like, oh, what was that? So you got into that at the very end. And
it was a moment of clarity. I think it's when you just spoke from heart and said, this is what matters to me, is that this is making a difference, right?
You know, Fernando, what I think everyone's keen in on this. We live in an era right now where there's just so much BS that comes through the internet, Facebook, and God knows what else. you are absolute soulful integrity. And I think Ron mentioned that earlier as well. I mean, your heart just comes through this. The only thing when they say you're caught in your head, I think it's just you're trying to mesh your head with your heart and make it all work together. And to me, when you're going in to have a discussion with somebody, you get time to prepare for that, and you can deal with that. But I will tell you, no one's going to think that you are not sincere. That you are very authentic, and that gets. And once you get past the authenticity, it opens people's ears. They want to hear what you have to say. So if you pass that test, that's a nice test to pass.
And your compassion, that's what connected with him. I could see it in your face. And to start from there, imagine how powerful your whole conversation would be if you started from that appeal of, I'm watching this community struggle, right? And I want this community to be there for my children, my unborn children. And this is my ask of you, Bill. Help me deliver this.
Awesome. So thank you guys for that. Appreciate your patience. My power went out, interestingly, and went off. So did judges give feedback yet or no?
Yeah, started.
Yeah, we started on Fernando.
Gave my feedback, but
Ron, you're up.
Yeah.
Okay. Fernando, first of all, you are a Latino, my friend, and Latinos wear their hearts on their sleeves, and they have an advantage over the rest of us gringos in the way that they begin. My challenge to you is have the information be factual and have it match your heart so that you're being felt in stereo, so that Bill says, man, I don't remember what he said, but whatever it was, I wanted it. Because what you left me with is that Bill would have to dig and pull that out of you, giving you kind of a 50-50 chance, and 50-50 is not high enough. So I think the only successful you is the authentic you, and the only sustainable you is the authentic you. And I know it's there. You're just having a hard time putting that heart and that information together in the same broad stroke. But when you do, it's unstoppable. At the end, you did, like everybody pointed out, when you talked about feeding children and growing fruit in the same broad stroke, all of a sudden we got to know you better, and that worked for you. So I thought you did very well on that one. With regards to Jeanette, I loved, Jeanette, what you did. Man, you just made, I've been a CEO most of my career, and you made me feel like, man, I can't move forward without her on my team. So I loved how you did it. I like how you first enrolled him to the concept of meeting, and then you took charge. And that's what a CEO is looking for is, they're not looking for somebody they have to enable. They want somebody who's going to come in and work side by side and make the team better by virtue of your presence. So I thought you did a fantastic job.
Thank you. That's that change accelerator. Get her done.
Awesome job, guys. Patricia, you gave your feedback?
Yes. Well, I gave my feedback to Fernando. I didn't give my feedback to Jeanette. So Jeanette, I mean, I pretty much, I concur with Ron. Your word choices were spectacular, especially in how you really walked him through the past statements and bringing him towards, all right, here's what we can do today. So it was an immediate connection. You also, the only thing I would say is at one point, you didn't give him room to respond. You asked a question, then you asked another question, and then you went into almost half of a third question before he could respond. And he just jumped in and decided to respond. So I would say just that pause, especially when you've got him already. Like, that's what I saw. I saw that you connected, like, all right, now that I know that I've got you in, I'm just going to really make sure you understand that I understand, or that I know exactly where we are right now. And it was just a needed pause, which just allowed him to kind of breathe through that. But the closing was very clear. The connection was very clear. So solid, like, again, a 9 for me.
Awesome. And did Guy, you gave your feedback to Jeanette?
I did for Fernando. I didn't to Jeanette. Jeanette is really, you can tell that Jeanette is well trained and well schooled, just like her 3 black belts. By the way, I have 3 black belts as well. They all came from Bloomingdale's. I just want you to know.
I told you
Unfortunately,
somebody
they're
would
not
say
fitting
that.
right now so well after all the sheltering and the eating that's been going on. I'll have to get more black belts. Again, you did it right. From what I can tell you follow a program or a formula, and you were. The only thing I could say, and I think I would echo Patricia to some degree, is you probably jumped in too quickly with. We've got some ideas, and would it be helpful? I think you needed to ask more implication questions that Brian would have been able to respond to. That would then open up saying, well, we have some ideas on how to deal with those things. And
Okay.
that might have been a good connection. But I mean, really, you just did a nice job. It's
3 minutes.
yeah, exactly. It's not 20 minutes, 3 minutes.
So Guy, how was your experience today?
This was really good. I think the value was really in the contestants originally, because you have to really come up with something and make it work, and you get to see your own challenges that you have, and you've got judges there judging you. It's not like you prepared for weeks. You just jumped in and did this. It's pretty valuable. I think you get to see the places where one needs to grow right away. It's a very valuable and very powerful tool that gets created here. I'm glad I did this. I will tell you in particular, it hit me because we have in my particular area, I have an enormous job ahead of me. I've got to convince a lot of lenders, clients to get to yes. I didn't realize that until we were starting to have this discussion. I mean, I have to work out a lot. I mean, when you've got a group of Wall Street investors that are owed $1.2 billion of capital, and you got to get them to move in order to make things go well. It's very challenging, and I didn't realize how challenging it was going to be until we went through this exercise, and I see what has to happen.
No, thank you, Guy, and also the energy that we need to maintain. You need to maintain. Everybody needs to maintain, because there's energies that create influence, and when energetic variance is present, and I'll just drop on this for 1 second. People talk about the concept that there's logical decision makers and there's emotional decision makers. And I don't believe that's accurate. I think there's sequences of how our brain functions and works. But at the end of the day, everybody makes every single decision they ever make in their life based upon emotion. And if anybody wants to challenge that dynamic, ask anybody that claims that they are a logical decision maker, non-emotional decision maker that has children, why they have children. They're expensive, they cause stress, they make it completely crazy, and the only thing they really provide is emotions and emotional nourishing, right? And dynamics, which is what everybody wants. And I'll also anchor on this, that, in our, we have the largest jury verdict in the last decade in the state of Arizona in a business breakup case. And in that case, the incredible federal judge, who I had the utmost respect for, when he has court rules for the structure of everything that goes on inside of that room. And one of his rules is that there's no emotion in his courtroom, none. Okay. So we go through this case, and we had worked on the case for 5 years up until trial, like saga and beyond. And we had created a dynamic in the courtroom of you couldn't move off of the podium, all these structural dynamics to eliminate emotion completely from every part of everything that occurred. Well, his rule was also that the foreperson reads the jury verdict. And so when the verdict came out in this case, he's going to review it, give it back to the jury, the foreperson. So he starts flipping through it. Page 1, he's flipping through it, he's flipping through it, he's flipping through it. He looks up, he's flipping through it, he's flipping through it. He looks up at the adversary, puts it down and goes, you know what? He looks at me, he looks at the adversary, my adversary. He goes, I think I'm going to read this one. And he starts to read the jury verdict, which also contains $16 million in punitive damages against the defendants for their willful, malicious, wrongful conduct. And in that moment, if I had ever doubted that every human being is emotionally motivated, and I hadn't doubted it, but if I had, that moment would have told me otherwise. He didn't crack a smile for a month. He ran that courtroom like a military process robotically, brilliantly, ethically, integriously, almost perfectly. At the end of the day, he read that jury verdict and he looked where he looked and how he looked to tell everybody how happy he was that justice was done and the lying going in his courtroom would not stand. So for all of us, we are driven by emotion, including Wall Street investors, including federal judges. It's a question of how do we connect people integrously to that dynamic to get to the solution. So Guy, I know you got a huge amount of work ahead of you. I honor your work. I'd love to connect maybe at some point, but thank you for being here today. Okay. So yes, Ron, how was today for you?
I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me on. It was fun to watch the interaction and kind of be a fly on the wall. Usually I'm one of the animals in the room, so it's nice to be able to observe the way we did today. Would love to do it again if you ever need that.
Yeah, I do. We definitely do. And your brilliance and background, I mean, clearly present. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Patricia, how was today for you? And thank you again so much for your return from the Magic Kingdom and your executive awesomeness into today.
Today was magical as usual. Learned a lot through this process and with everyone really just being fully immersed in this process. So thank you everyone for being like fully present. I do want to say one more thing to Fernando because it's standing out to me with Sean highlighting energy. And maybe it's coming back to this replay when you look at it. Definitely look at the end. You're closing with Bill/Brian, right? Your closing statement had all 4 energies in it. Mm-hmm. You were fun, you were aspirational, you were loving in the goddess, and you were Zeus all at once. It was all ever present. That's what made us, every single person here, sit up to actually connect with what it is you had to say. It was like you were doing a call to attention. So definitely utilize that space because that space fully, like you embodied it like beautifully.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Patricia, moving, profound, and right on. Thank you. Jeanette, great job. Super impressive. How was today for you?
Good, interesting. Always great to see different perspectives. It is a process, you know, in putting the message together. I think for me in a healthcare space, it's hard to find fun in that conversation because it's such a significant matter. You know, I think that becomes the toughest part for me to think about is how do you bring fun into lighten up a pretty grave situation.
Yeah. A thought, if I may, would be maybe to not see fun in the situation, but fun in the connectivity. In a moment, you know, Ogmandino's 10 scrolls, I think scroll 7 is I will lovingly laugh at myself and the world. And so if we sit in the space of remembering we're all just human and whatever's going on has been crazier in history, I can take a moment and kind of maybe not take everything so seriously for a split second and then drop into the gravity of the situation. Just a thought I offer.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Fernando, how was today for you?
Amazing. Thank you so much for the feedback. I'm taking it to heart. I'm sinking into my heart, and I will carry what I've learned today into my day-to-day and use more fun in my communication. I appreciate you guys so much, all of you, every single one, Sean, everyone.
Fernando, great job, and your heart is present. Everybody here loves you. Like that's apparent. Like, do you feel that everybody here loves you?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love you too.
Yeah, love you, brother. Huddles every day. We're here for Unblinded. B Rips, Brian Ripple, you're amazing. So thankful for you. Final from you as we take it home.
Man, thank you. I mean, the contestants, this is such a challenging space to go into, and then you're judged on top of that. And so really just credit for stepping up, stepping into it. Go back and watch yourselves. And the best part is you get to grow from here. This is your floor has been established. So it's only growth from there. So congratulations to both of you guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
And join the huddles. So you get to learn a lot more.
Unblindedhuddle.com. If this is the end, let's all remember that we're all blind and just learning to see. But hopefully it's the beginning. Thanks and have a great day. Appreciate you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, beautiful people.